Hey everyone, it's Tran here, your local Bay Area realtor. And one of the really awesome things that we do here in the Bay Area during winter is that we visit Tahoe or Reno to play in the snow, to snowboard or ski. And it's a phenomenal sport and it's a great time to go. And I'm here to share with you another fantastic place that you can go. It is much more economical, and if you have younger children, it is the perfect place to take them. Drum roll, please. It's Yosemite. So if you don't know, Yosemite is one of our national park, and it's actually one of California's treasure. Yosemite receive a lot of visitors throughout the year. And especially during spring and summertime, you actually have to book the day you come in order to go into the park. But if you go during the winter time, which is their more slower season, you don't have to. But it's actually a phenomenal place to take your children to and go play in the snow. And you can just bring your sleigh. So I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about how to have a phenomenal time playing in the snow and sleighing in Yosemite. So number one, where to stay. So when you go to Yosemite, there are a lot of hotels around Yosemite that you can book. So you can do it that way. For me, because it is, we have 3 children, so it's not too comfortable having them in hotel. So I prefer Airbnb. So with Airbnb, we stay in the city of Groveland. It's right outside of Yosemite, and it at most about 30 to 40-minute drive into Yosemite. So you do have to factor that time in, but you're going to be much more comfortable in a house in Groveland. And price point wise is pretty. I think a daily rate for a home to rent in Groveland is much better than a hotel. So Groveland is the place to stay for sure. And then where do you go to snow sleigh and play with the snow? Every year we go to what is called the Crane Flat Campground. So this is where during the summertime you actually can camp there. But in the wintertime, this is the snow place to take your children to. And it's very easy. It just takes about 40 minutes from Groveland into, well, depending on where in Groveland, if you're more on the edge or you're a little further out, but typically 30 minutes to 40 minutes to get to Snow Crane Flat Campground. And once you get there, usually when you first get into the gate, you're not going to see much snow, but as you get closer, you'll see more snow there. And you just go right through, park on the street, and then it is pick a place. Usually right where you park, you will see multiple areas. You'll see other people enjoying the time there too. And you can actually even explore and try different area because there are some that the slope is a little bit more gentle, some the slope is a little bit higher. And usually these slopes are coming from the road, right? When it's snow over, the street actually get completely covered and there's no tree, right? The tree is on the side of the road. So it's perfect sleighing spot for your family. But you gotta bring your own sleigh, right? Own sleigh, you gotta wear your winter snowing clothes to make sure that you stay warm. You do have to bring your own food because after all, this is a national park. They're not gonna have a restaurant right there for you. So make sure you get your food in Groveland, bring it in, make it a picnic time for your whole family. There's a lot of options and choices in Groveland. Well, there's enough option. Groveland is a small town, so it really is catered to the tourist or visitor to Yosemite. And they do have a local who live there. And so you do have, there are pizza, there are Italian food, American food, there's a different type of food, and you can always pack sandwiches as well. bathroom, which is very important when you go on to this trip. Where do you go? They do have a couple of well, the normal bathroom there are closed during the winter season. They do have some porta potty, but those are not the cleanest place to be in or use. So make sure you go bathroom before, or you might be in a pickle. Right? Otherwise, when nature calls, then you just find a bush, I guess. But try not to drink too much water. In terms of packing, but what do you pack when you go on this trip, right? Normally, because we stay in an Airbnb, so we do some light cooking, and so we do pack food and things that we generally really like, and then we pack stuff like sandwiches and stuff like that, or things to make sandwiches, the ingredient to make sandwiches with us, so that way we can go have lots of fun and just make a sandwich during noontime, enjoy it, then back at it, play in the snow again. When is the best time to go? When it comes to playing in the snow in Yosemite, there is a good time and there is not so good time. The best time is really I found anyway, is at the end of December and beginning of January. I have gone during February before, and that was a no-go because by that time there's too much snow. It was so much, it was so fluffy, you really couldn't do anything other than build a snowman. You couldn't sleigh. So best time to go after Christmas, beginning in the new year is definitely the best time. And I recently went, right? And we went on Friday and come back on Sunday. It's just a 3-day trip. When we got there on Friday, we went in. There wasn't that much snow out. When we were driving, I'm like, oh my gosh, where are the snow? This is too little. You can't play in it if there's not enough of it. When we got there, it's not much. But that day, we were also very lucky that day it rained. So it rained outside in Groveland, and it technically rained in Yosemite as well in the afternoon. But when it rained in the snow, Crane Flat Campground, it actually snowed. So we were playing with all the snow was falling. It was pretty fun. And then next day on Saturday, we come in, there was like way more inches of snow. Perfect for sleighing down slope, was so much fun. One thing I do want to recommend that when you pack, get some heat pack. Those you can buy on Amazon, and it will keep your hand warm. If you only play for an hour or so, not a big deal. But if you play for a long time, your gear and your glove is going to get wet and it's going to get cold. So those heat pack is going to come in very, very handy. And I just learned it this trip around when one of our friends brought it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing ever. And my daughter was holding on to it like the whole time. Make sure to bring that with you as well. Bring your sleigh. You don't need anything too complicated. Just get a simple sleigh and you're going to have a phenomenal, great time. Make sure you bring your water, pack your food. And if you can, go with your family, ask your family friend to go with you. It's always a great time there. And on top of that, right, you only have to pay entrance free unless you have an annual pass. And here's a little tip for you. If your kids are a fourth grader, you can actually apply to get the annual pass for free, guys. For free. You can go in for free. Do that if you have a fourth grader at home. If not, the pass is only maybe $25 per car for like 7 days. So very economical, much cheaper than going to Tahoe or Reno and buying a one of those resort pass to go skiing or snowboarding. But of course, when you have older children who are a teenager or more adult trip, I'm not sure this would be as fun as you would want it to be because the slopes are not as steep. Some of it is more like a little bit more like bunny slope or a little bit slightly higher than a bunny slope, but it's nothing like Tahoe skiing place. But it is fantastic when you have little one, because little one is not going to go on the diamond slope. They're going to go on the bunny slope. And it is much more economical to take them to Yosemite, and you can have a great time. You're going to sleigh, you're going to build snowman. Most important is you get to spend time together. And actually, when we were driving home and we were seeing all the snow falling, it was such a beautiful, magical place. It's gorgeous. And on top of that, if you like, you can drive into the visitor center. You can drive to different vista points. Go see El Capitan. Go see Half Dome. So you can make a whole trip out of it. So I hope you'll have a great time there, and let me know how your trip goes if you decide to go.